Hi, everybody. Having a little confusion going on here with my recording software. But yeah, this is Jeff, and I'm thinking about some things that have been coming up a lot lately, and we recently got some emails, but it's been kind of discussed here and there um, in some of our recent Powercasts as well. And the way I'm going to try and address it and give you my take on this is I think step by step in a couple of separate videos. And I'll try to keep the videos short and topic oriented. So I think this is going to be the first of the series, if we're going to call it a series. And what I want to talk about is the character and nature of God. I have heard in days past in evangelical Christianity and even from evangelicals now who say that the Mosaic Law, God's law, which is the Mosaic Law, the Law of Moses, um, represents the character and nature of God, and I find that very revolting. It is so revolting. And it's demonstrated so often, especially in the Old Testament, that that was never his character or his nature. Now, what I tell people is the law actually was a mirror of man's self-righteousness. And so the example I always give people when I try to explain and compare the difference between God's character and nature and that of the law is because it is visible throughout the Bible, the Old Testament especially, and is the first example I use is Cain. Cain murdered his brother Abel. Now, God confronted Cain on that, and if it were his character and if the law were his character and nature, according to the law, he would have killed Abel. But he did just the opposite. He protected Abel. The next example would be Moses. Moses killed an Egyptian. After that, God started talking to Moses, and there's nowhere recorded that God even brought it up, that he ever even mentioned it to Moses, let alone killed him. And then, David, he's another famous murderer. And he was a murderer and a fornicator and a liar. And God used the prophet to confront him on his, but you know what? He never killed David either. See, that's not God's character. That's not his nature. But the law was given for another reason. And this is why I say it was a mirror of man's self-righteousness. Because the law was given to reveal that there was a problem. It was a thing called sin. And it comes from, the law goes hand in hand with the knowledge of good and evil. Mankind has never understood and never will understand what sin is. It's an enigma. God knew what it was. And man really cannot understand what the knowledge of good and evil is. Otherwise, it would be innate to every person. But every person's got a different standard of what's good and evil. I mean, you're not going to find two people who have the same standard. The best thing to do is just get rid of any standard of knowledge of good and evil, which is what God did. But I just wanted to let people know that it is absolutely preposterous to say that the law represents the character and nature of God. It is the absolute opposite from the truth. I'm starting off with this because I have a point that I want to get to. But please don't ever confuse the law with the character or nature of God. It was a mirror of man's self-righteousness. Hope you're having a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.